Welcome everybody to a look at a new 4K release from Arrow Video, and it is 1980's The Long Good Friday, which is directed by John Mackenzie, who also did The Fourth Protocol, which starred Michael Caine and Pierce Brosnan, although admittedly that's the only other film from him that I have seen. This is a gangster crime film, clocking in at 114 minutes long. Stars the likes of Bob Hoskins, who I've seen in 9 other films, who was in the likes of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Enemy at the Gates, the equally fantastic Mona Lisa, Unleashed, and Shattered. Also stars Helen Mirren, who I've seen in 17 other films. She's been in the likes of the Fast and Furious series, Red, 2010, the follow-up to 2001: A Space Odyssey, Eye in the Sky, Excalibur, and State of Play. And we've also got supporting roles from the likes of Dave King, who was in the likes of Reds and Cuba, Brian Marshall, who was in the likes of The Spy Who Loved Me, The Punisher from 1989, and Quatermass and The Pit, as well as a very early role from Pierce Brosnan, who would obviously go on to start in the likes of GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies, amongst other films. In fact, he was also in The Fourth Protocol as well, directed by John Mackenzie. So, yeah, a bit of a link between those two films there. And yeah, this is set in the late 1970s. A Cockney crime boss called Harold Shand is a gangster trying to become a legitimate property mogul who has big plans to get the American mafia to bankroll his transformation of a derelict area of London into the possible venue for a future Olympic Games. However, a series of bombings targets his empire on the very weekend the Americans are in town. Shand is convinced there is a traitor in his organization and sets out to eliminate the rat in typically ruthless fashion. So, this is easily one of the best British crime gangster films around. Not just in terms of British films as well. Also, in terms of general gangster crime films, it's easily one of the best, rivals many of the American greats, which is thanks to a plot that is riveting from beginning to end, thanks to the really rather great plot that uses paranoia and brutal violence in a highly effective manner. It also has a perfect pacing, editing that makes everything flow really rather seamlessly. A great cast with notable performances from its two leads, Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren. It's got a cracking score and an ending that, even after repeated viewings, is still fantastic. So, yeah, an overall great film. And even though I've not been a big fan of all of these 4K re-releases that Arrow Video have done of their Blu-ray releases, I think the only other one I've bought so far has been Ringu. But that's just purely because it's one of my other all-time favorite films. Yeah, I only had the basic Blu-ray for this originally, so yeah, I figured high time to get a limited edition version and on 4K, no less. So, yeah, this slipcover is exclusive to the Arrow Video website. I'm not sure if there's any still around to buy, but yeah, got this because I really do prefer this artwork over the new artwork that the film has been released with, which, as you can see, is there. So, yeah, it's decent, but the whole massive explosion, at least that's what it looks like, a massive explosion. Um, Behind Bob Hoskins, behind the bridge and everything. Just, yeah, I'm just not a massive fan of it. It doesn't really convey the whole sense of the film, in all honesty. But we do nonetheless get a couple of physical extras, as well as plenty of extras on the disc itself. So yeah, we get a booklet with this as well. There's a new artwork and a shot from the film. So in here we have cast and crew. Then we have The Long Good Friday by Mark Duguid from 2015. Then we have Making the Long Good Friday by Robert Sellers from 2013. Then we have contemporary reviews, Cockney rhyming slang glossary, about the restoration, and production credits. So yeah, we have some new artwork, I believe, or original artwork in the insert at the front. So yeah, I believe these were write-ups that were included in the original Blu-ray release of this from our video. So it's probably nothing here that is new, but you know, that's all fine at the end of the day. I do like the Cockney rhyming slang glossary though, so yeah, which is probably put in there for more foreign audiences, given Cockney rhyming slang isn't all that common outside of the UK. And then we have a poster as well with the new artwork on it. And now I'm not a fan of the new artwork, but I am a fan of getting a poster. So yeah, swings and roundabouts there. To be honest, I would have liked to have had the other artwork on the reverse side, but unfortunately that's not the case. Yeah, it will look good on the, it will look good on a wall, but again, I just prefer this, to be honest. So yeah, there is that. And then we have extras on the disc itself. So yeah, the 4K is in 2160p, Ultra HD, Blu-ray presentation in Dolby Vision, HDR10 compatible, original uncompressed PCM Mono 1.0 and Dolby Atmos audio. Got optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Audio commentary by director John Mackenzie. We got Bloody Business, a documentary about the making of The Long Good Friday, including interviews with John Mackenzie, stars Bob Hoskins, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, producer Barry Hansen, and cinematographer Phil Mayhew. Then we've got Hands Across the Ocean, a comparison of the differences between the UK and US soundtracks. I've only ever heard the UK soundtrack, so it'd be interesting to see what the US soundtrack is like, but I doubt it's as good because the soundtrack for this is actually pretty much iconic, I believe. Then we've got Q&A with Bob Hoskins and John Mackenzie, moderated by Richard Jobson or Jobson. And then we got interviews with Barry Hansen, Phil Mayhew, writer Barry Keefe, first assistant director Simon Hinckley, and assistant art director Carlotta Barrow. Then we've got the original trailers, and yeah, we do get the reversible sleeve artwork as well. So yeah, I will be swapping this round because, like I said, I prefer it. So yeah, we do get the sleeve artwork in comparison to that. So yeah, we'll definitely be swapping it around for my own personal taste. But still, yeah, overall a excellent film. 4.5 stars out of 5. The 4K itself looks really rather good. Only watched the first hour or so, so I've not gotten to the iconic ending yet. But yeah, definitely looks great. The explosions in the first hour, for instance, look really rather quite nice. And yeah, the film in general looks pretty good as well. So yeah, it's probably not a leaps and bounds better than the Blu-ray that came out a few years ago, but my own personal view of getting these 4K films is to future-proof them for future, basically, because TVs are only going to pretty much get better, more highly detailed and whatnot, and that is bound to bring out some flaws in older Blu-rays, whereas these 4Ks will yeah, still undoubtedly still look great years to come from now. So yeah, get out there and get this film if you haven't got it already, especially if you do enjoy the film in general. If you have seen it, though, I would like to hear your thoughts on it. But if you haven't, then you're missing out on a classic, quite frankly, and I do highly, highly recommend it if you haven't seen it so far, especially if you're into your gangster films, your crime films, especially from the UK, but just in general, really, this will be right up your street. So, yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.